In today's video, we will discuss condylar fractures, its classification, types, its diagnostic points, features, signs and symptoms, its radiographs and radiographic features, and its treatment options, treatment modalities. Okay, first of all, we will discuss Lindel's classification of condylar fracture. According to fracture level, there is condylar head fracture, there is condylar neck fracture, and there is subcondylar fracture. Subcondylar fracture is the fracture that extend below the base of sigmoid notch posteriorly towards the mandible and above mandibular foramen. Second one is relationship of condylar fragment to mandible. There is undisplaced fracture, there is deviated fracture or displaced fracture, and displaced fracture with lateral overlap and displaced fracture with medial overlap. There is also one fracture with anteroposterior overlap and without contact between the fragments. Next one is relationship of condylar head to glenoid fossa. If there is a normal relationship between condylar head and glenoid fossa, then it means there is no displacement. If there is not normal relationship between the condylar head and fossa, it means that there is displacement and there can be injury to meniscus. Okay, now diagnostic points of condylar fractures that will be used to solve the scenario questions. There are two types of condylar fractures: unilateral condylar fractures and bilateral condylar fractures. In unilateral condylar fractures, mandible deviate towards the fractured side on opening. On mouth opening, mandible will deviate towards the fracture side. But in bilateral condylar fracture, mandible does not deviate. In unilateral fractures, midline is off. It means that upper and lower midline do not coincide. But in bilateral condylar fractures, midline are coincident. In unilateral fractures, there is gagging of posterior teeth on one side. Gagging means premature contact between upper and lower teeth. So there is gagging of posterior teeth, which means premature contact of upper and lower molars on one side, on the side of fracture, while in bilateral fractures there is posterior gagging on both sides. Posterior open bite in the case of unilateral fractures. On the contralateral side, if there will be gagging on the same side, there will be posterior open bite on the other side. And there is in bilateral condylar fracture, when there will be gagging on both sides of posterior teeth, premature contacts on both sides of the posterior teeth, both sides of molars, then there will be interior open bite. Other features are painful protrusion and lateral excursions, blood in external auditory canal, localized pain, swelling over TMJ area, ecchymosis of skin below mastoid process. This point is important from MCQ point of view. Ecchymosis of skin below the mastoid process. It's an MCQ. Hemorrhage from ear on that side, hematoma formation, and characteristic hollow in the condylar region. These are the features that will help you to identify condylar fracture given in the scenarios. Look at this picture, that is unilateral condylar fracture and posterior gagging on one side and posterior open bite on the other side. This is bilateral condylar fracture in which there is interior open bite and posterior gagging on both sides. In this picture, extraoral signs are also shown. The radiographs that we will perform are OPG, bilateral lateral oblique, Tauvinese view, reverse Tauvinese view, CT scan, and PA mandible. What are the findings that will be found on radiographs? Shortening of condylar ramus length, radiolucency at the fracture line, radio opaque double density in the area of overlap, and premature contacts of posterior teeth. And we can also see open bite posteriorly in radiograph. Now, treatment of condylar fractures. So first of all, कंजर्वेटिव मैनेजमेंट कर सकते हैं इसमें. माउथ एक्सरसाइजेज, सॉफ्ट डाइट, एनाल्जेसिक्स एंड एंटी इन्फ्लेमेटरी ड्रग्स. Now the choice of treatments, there are different treatment modalities for condylar fracture. The choice of treatment depends upon the degree of displacement of the fractured segment. location of the fracture, whether it is condylar head fracture, neck fracture, or subcondylar fracture, condition of dentition, whether dentition is affected or not, age of the patient, and considerations of other facial fractures. Are there any other facial fractures associated with condylar fracture or not? There are different treatment modalities for treatment of condylar fracture: closed reduction, that can provide reduction, immobilization, and rehabilitation, and open reduction and fixation. Open reduction and fixation is mostly used for displaced or dislocated fracture segments. Now, surgical approaches that are used in open reduction are: if there is intracapsular fracture, then preauricular or postauricular approach is used. If there is fracture of condylar neck, then preauricular, retromandibular, and submandibular approach is used. If there is subcondylar fracture, then a retromandibular or submandibular approach is used. Now, guidelines of condylar fracture, that it will explain that which approach or which treatment modality should be used for the type of fracture. First of all, IMF is done with arch bars or elastics only for 2 to 3 weeks. Why? The reason is to allow active mobilization to prevent TMJ ankylosis. If we will immobilize it for like greater than 3 weeks, it will cause TMJ ankylosis. And in this way, by using arch bars and elastics, we can perform certain mandibular movements, and mouth exercises can be performed so to prevent TMJ ankylosis. Now, what are the treatment options for different types of fractures? If the fracture is dislocated intracapsular fracture that may be comminuted, then we perform closed reduction with the arch bars or and elastics, IMF with arch bars and elastics for 2 to 3 weeks only. Open approach if there is no obstruction or to function due to displaced fragment. If there is no obstruction in function due to displaced fragment, then open approach can also be performed. Then undisplaced or slightly displaced condylar neck or subcondylar fracture. If there is undisplaced or slightly displaced neck or subcondylar fracture, then we will perform closed reduction with IMF for 2 to 3 weeks, again using arch bars or elastics. If there is a moderately displaced neck, now it was slightly displaced, now moderately displaced neck or subcondylar fracture, then closed reduction can be performed, but closed reduction can lead to ramus height compromise. It will compromise the ramus height. Brief IMF plus training guiding elastics, and open reduction can be performed in open reduction and internal fixation by using mini plates and lag screws. Open reduction is performed so that vertical dimension ramus height can be maintained. Now, if this fracture is dislocated, then closed reduction with early mobilization and training elastics is an option, and open reduction can also be performed, which ensures anatomic repositioning and bony union.